Alright guys, I am back with my review of this week's WWE Monday Night Raw for July 22nd, 2013. Show starts off with Maddox in the ring. He has Cena and Daniel Bryan come out for a contract signing. Daniel Bryan gets a great reaction here, no surprise there. Cena says that if size is everything and being a WWE champion, then take the title and give it to the great Khali. He puts over Daniel Bryan, and then he signs the contract. And Daniel Bryan signs the contract, and then he goes to speak, and Maddox cuts him off. So Daniel Bryan grabs the microphone, and he says he earned this match, and Brad Maddox says he can prove it tonight by winning matches. So he puts Daniel Bryan in 3 matches. We get Sheamus versus Del Rio. Sheamus had a nasty bruise on his leg. Del Rio actually attacks the leg throughout the match. Sheamus goes for white noise, but his leg buckles, and Del Rio rolls him up for the win. But this was a pretty good match here, and it got a lot of time. Backstage, Booker T says he was shocked by Mr. McMahon's decision to make Vicky the GM of SmackDown, but he respects it. Teddy Long says he was doing all of the work while Booker had his feet propped up. And Booker says that he will throw Teddy out of the building tonight, and Teddy says maybe Mr. McMahon made the right choice going with Vicky instead of Booker. Have no idea where any of this is going, but I would like to see Booker on commentary. That's what they should be doing with him. Christian versus Titus O'Neil. This actually wasn't a bad match, maybe a little long, but I didn't think it was that bad. Christian wins with a kill switch though, and it's really hard to believe. Titus is a big dude. It's hard to believe that Christian, of all people, overpowered Titus O'Neil into the kill switch. That's just a little bit much for me. Ryback says he enjoys intimidating people and is basically a bully. Mark Henry comes out, he puts over Texas, he's in babyface mode. He calls out the Shield. They come out and beat him down again. The Usos run out, and the 3 babyfaces force the Shield to retreat. So I guess that's another SummerSlam match. Cena tells Daniel Bryan that he thinks someone else is behind Maddox's decision to put him on all these matches. And Bryan says he doesn't care. He wants this opportunity to prove himself, and he doesn't need any help. And I actually think that it's obviously Vince is behind this, but I think Stephanie is also behind it. She's working with her dad on this. Dolph versus Darren Young. Young hits Dolph with a reverse sky high, and Dolph kicks out. He starts trash talking Dolph, and then Dolph hits him with a zigzag for the win. Big E runs out, but Dolph fights him off and escapes. Miz TV with the cast of Total Divas and Brie Bella's nipple. Miz says he will be the host of SummerSlam this year, whatever the hell that means. And Miz calls Ava Maria, so he screws up her name. This girl is very hot. However, I don't see her sticking around in wrestling very long. I actually think she's going to use this to launch into other things, and she won't actually stick around the WWE for a while. But she is hot. So King gets in the ring. He calls her Ava Maria too, and she says she's here to make a name for herself, and she does the weakest slap to the King. I mean, she barely hits him. We get Triple H telling Maddox that Daniel Bryan is the future of this business. Stephanie comes up and says she has an idea for Maddox and will talk to him about it soon. Fandango versus Cody Rhodes with Sandow on commentary. Cody goes for this moonsault, and I don't know if he hit it or he missed it. I couldn't tell what the hell was going on here. Because as soon as he lands, it's like Fandango ran to get underneath him, but Cody starts selling it like he missed, and then Fandango rolls to the outside like he's fine. So I don't know what the hell was supposed to happen here, but Sandow gets on the apron. Cody throws Fandango into him, hits a disaster kick on Fandango, and hits Crossroads for the win. Punk comes out. He says Brock Lesnar beat his ass, but he's still standing, and he's not afraid of Brock, and he will slay the beast at SummerSlam. Heyman comes on the screen and says that Brock is in the best shape of his life, and CM Punk's still beat up from the Money in the Bank pay-per-view and from Brock kicking his ass. So he accepts the SummerSlam match for Brock, and he says Brock Lesnar is his best friend in the world. This was actually pretty good stuff here. Especially Punk's promo before Heyman came on the screen, I thought was really good. Wade Barrett versus RVD. RVD busts Wade Barrett's mouth open, just like when he knocked out Abyss's teeth. This guy's just so reckless with those kicks, and I don't even think he gives a shit. But he busts open Wade Barrett's mouth and hits the frog splash for the win. We get Daniel Bryan versus Jack Swagger. Swagger dominates Daniel Bryan, but eventually gets caught in a no-lock. So Bryan gets the win. Then we get Bryan versus Cesaro. This shit was awesome. If you don't watch Monday Night Raw and you just watch these videos, check out this match if nothing else. This was really, really good stuff. It does start a little bit slow, but it turns into a fantastic match. Bryan hits a nasty German suplex on Cesaro. Cesaro just kills him with repeated uppercuts. Bryan counters the big uppercut with a small package for the win. And then it cuts backstage where Maddox is watching the match, and I believe Alex Riley was there for some reason. Pretty sure that's who it was. He's just standing there watching the match with Maddox. And then we get Ryback versus Daniel Bryan, and Ryback killed the crowd. I mean, just killed them. They could care less about Ryback. Big Show was supposed to return on this show, so I thought it was going to be Big Show, but no Big Show. And then I thought maybe Randy Orton. Wasn't Orton. And then I thought, okay, the Bray Wyatt family, possibly, right? I mean, they weren't on the show, and no, it was Ryback. So that was a disappointment. Because the Bray Wyatt family wasn't on the show, I think they'll be on SmackDown, which should definitely help that show. But Bryan gets him in the no-lock. He gets the ropes. Ryback powerbombs Bryan to the floor. And then he powerbombs him again through a table and gets disqualified. So Bryan does win the match by DQ. Cena runs out and beats up Ryback. He challenges Ryback to a tables match. That's usually what they do when Raw goes off the air. Recently they've been doing Ryback versus Cena in a tables match. So at first I was like, was the show supposed to end already and this is like dark match stuff? But no, they announced that next week it will be Cena versus Ryback in a tables match. And then backstage, Vince tells Maddox to put Bryan in another match next week against Kane. And then he says, "You damn right." So that's how the show ended. Overall, honestly, around the middle of the show, I was kind of thinking this is really just an average Raw. Nothing really special about it. But the Daniel Bryan versus Cesaro stuff was so good. And there was some good stuff on this show. Sheamus versus Del Rio was a pretty good match too. So I have to say this was a good show this week, I thought. Definitely could have been better, but not a bad show at all. So that's my review of Raw this week. Hope you guys liked the video. Leave your thoughts on this week's show in the comments, and thanks for watching.